Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we have an absolute bombshell of a prediction coming out of the NFL world. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, are heading straight for disaster in the 2025 season. That's right. One NFL expert is making a jaw-dropping claim that will leave Cowboys fans in shock. According to Kyle Soppe of Pro Football Network, the Cowboys are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL next season. Not only that, but he's predicting a full-on collapse, a 12-loss season that will put them in prime position to draft a future superstar quarterback in 2026. And guess who that quarterback is? None other than Arch Manning, the most hyped QB prospect in years. But hold on, what does this mean for Dak Prescott? How could a team with a $240 million franchise quarterback suddenly find itself in quarterback purgatory? And is this really the beginning of the end for the Cowboys? Get ready because we're diving deep into this insane prediction, exposing the Cowboys' biggest weaknesses and figuring out whether Dallas is about to go from playoff hopefuls to absolute bottom feeders in just one season. The Cowboys' 2024 disaster. What went wrong? To understand where this catastrophic prediction is coming from, we have to go back to last season, the 2024 NFL season, a year that started with high hopes but ended in complete disappointment. The Cowboys finished 7-10, missing the playoffs entirely in what can only be described as a massive failure. But here's the thing, it wasn't supposed to be like this. This was supposed to be the year they took a step forward, built on their past success, and made a deep playoff run. Instead, they absolutely crumbled. And what was the turning point? Dak Prescott's injury in Week 9. Before going down with a season-ending hamstring injury, Prescott was putting up decent numbers. 9 in 12 of the 8 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 86.0 passer rating. Not exactly MVP numbers, but enough to keep Dallas competitive. But once he went down, the Cowboys were exposed. Their offense fell apart, their defense couldn't carry them, and the team collapsed. This brings us to the 2025 season, where things might get even worse. The perfect storm why Dallas could completely implode. So why are experts predicting a 12-loss disaster for the Cowboys in 2025? It comes down to 3 massive issues. 1. A leadership mess under Brian Schottenheimer. Cowboys fans hope that a new era would bring new success. But what if it's the opposite? Brian Schottenheimer, the team's new head coach, is already being labeled as a questionable hire. His track record? Mediocre at best. He's never been a head coach before. His offensive play calling has been criticized in past jobs. He's now taken over one of the most pressure-filled jobs in sports. Soapy believes that Schottenheimer will struggle to lead this team, and that's a fair concern. Can he handle the pressure, or will the Cowboys spiral into chaos under his leadership? 2. Micah Parsons. Holdout could destroy the defense. Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the NFL. But will he even be on the field to start the season? Reports suggest that Parsons could hold out a training camp, similar to what CeeDee Lamb did before the 2024 season. If that happens, there's a real chance he doesn't get fully acclimated to new defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus's system. Translation? The Cowboys' defense could be significantly weaker early in the season. And when you pair that with a struggling offense, it's a recipe for disaster. 3. Dak Prescott's future is in question. Here's the biggest bombshell of them all. Dak Prescott may not be in Dallas for much longer. Yes, the Cowboys just gave him a record-breaking $240 million contract, but the front office may already be looking toward the future. If the Cowboys stumble out of the gate and find themselves in a deep hole, do they start thinking about the 2026 draft? Soppy suggests that if Dallas is one of the worst teams in the league, they'll have a high draft pick. And with Arch Manning potentially available, would Jerry Jones pull the trigger and move on from Prescott? That's where things get really interesting. Arch Manning, the future of the Cowboys? If Dallas does indeed collapse in 2025 and ends up with a top draft pick, they could be in prime position to select Arch Manning, the latest superstar quarterback from the legendary Manning family. Nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning, elite arm talent, incredible football IQ, the most hyped QB prospect in years. If the Cowboys have a shot at drafting Manning, would they even hesitate? Prescott has been good, not great, and the Cowboys have been stuck in mediocrity. A fresh start with a young QB could be exactly what they need. But could Dallas really move on from a $240 million quarterback? That's the biggest question of all. The final verdict. Are the Cowboys doomed? So is this prediction insane, or is it actually possible? Let's break it down. Dak Prescott is coming back, but will he be the same after his injury? The team has a new head coach, but is he the right guy for the job? Micah Parsons could hold out, weakening the defense early on. If they struggle, they could be in position to draft Arch Manning. While predicting a 12-loss season might seem extreme, there are real concerns about the Cowboys heading into 2025. If they stumble out of the gate, this thing could snowball into a complete disaster. And if that happens, the Arch Manning era in Dallas could begin sooner than anyone expected. What do you think? Will the Cowboys turn things around, or are they truly heading for a complete collapse? Let us know in the comments.